For my Sunday long run, I decided to do something a little different this week. Hello and welcome to week 2 of my training for the Berlin Marathon, where I hope to find the missing 7 seconds from Manchester last year and achieve my goal of a sub 2:45 marathon. That will qualify me for the championship start at the London Marathon, which has been my long-term goal since I achieved my previous one of running a sub 3 marathon a few years ago. When I started Couch to 5k 7 years ago, I'd never have even dreamed of such a time, but here we are. Touch wood, my body's been holding up well after the glute issues I'd suffered with earlier in the year. I've been really strict about doing strength and conditioning and yoga at least half an hour every single day, and touch wood, it seems to be working. I'm feeling the strongest I've felt in a long time despite the high mileage, and I'll have a video coming out soon covering exactly what I'm doing. Monday was my usual recovery double. The legs felt pretty good in the morning considering the long run the day before. The afternoon was a bit more of a slog as it was a warm afternoon, but I just concentrated on keeping the heart rate low and plodding along. Tuesday was an utterly miserable morning, and I got absolutely soaked on my easy run along the canal. Unfortunately, my sodden vest managed to shred one of my nipples, which caused a lovely red stain all the way down my vest. Despite this, the run itself went well, and my legs ticked along at 7:25 per mile nicely, with no real effort. The afternoon recovery was unremarkable, so much so that when I came to write it up in my training diary a few hours later, I literally couldn't remember a thing about it. I suppose at this point my body just goes into autopilot mode. Wednesday always means a workout during my marathon training plans, and this week it was a change of pace tempo run taken from the Fitzinger book Faster Road Racing. The idea of these is to run a section at just below lactate threshold pace, and then a recovery section at just above lactate threshold. This one consisted of 4 minutes hard, followed by 4 minutes steady, and then a set of 5 repetitions of 2 minutes hard and 4 minutes steady. This is always quite a tough workout, and it can be hard to judge the effort, particularly making sure you don't slow down too much on the recovery sections. Thankfully, the race course was flood free this week, so I could use my 2-mile uninterrupted loop, which is usually traffic free except for a few dogs. I averaged 6:05 for the fast sections and 6:33 for the steady sections. These paces might not sound too impressive for someone that's aiming to run a 2:45 marathon, which after all is 6:17 minute mile pace. However, I always underperform during lactate threshold workouts, perhaps due to the high mileage I run. Over the years I've learnt not to worry too much about pace, as I know as long as I'm working hard it's having a training effect. However, come race day I know the pace will come. I'd much rather be like that than smash out workouts than underperform during races. Overall then, it was 38 minutes of hard work, and I averaged only about 5 seconds per mile slower than when I did this workout just before my 10k PB a few years ago, so that bodes well. I also felt really strong at the end of the workout and knocked out the 3-mile warm down at 7 minute per mile pace, which is a positive sign. Thursday was another decent easy run along the canal with much better weather than Tuesday, albeit with a bit of a breeze. I averaged 7:24 per mile, and the legs felt really good considering the session the day before. The afternoon recovery was another unremarkable one. Friday's medium long run also went well. My legs took a little bit of time to get going, but felt better as the run went on, and I ended up running 13.2 miles at an average pace of 6:52 per mile. This was a little faster than last week, and the weather was also a bit breezier, so good stuff. The afternoon recovery was hard work as it got quite warm in the afternoon, but it was a good excuse to have an ice cream afterwards. I got up super early on Saturday, as it was forecast to become very warm during the day, and I didn't fancy slogging away in the heat for 10 miles. Normally I look forward to Saturday as the one day to have a lie-in, but it was a beautiful morning, so once I got out there I was really glad I did. I zipped along at 7:16 per mile and was really pleased with the run. For my Sunday long run, I decided to do something a little different this week and run a loop that takes you out along the River Severn, up the Droitwich Canal to Droitwich Spa, and then back down the Worcester to Birmingham Canal, back to Worcester. In the winter the river path can get quite muddy, but at this time of year it's really good underfoot, even in road shoes. I was really pleased with the initial section out to Droitwich, where I averaged 6.54 per mile, despite it being net uphill and on grassy sections at times. I was hoping to speed up a bit on the return leg, as it's net downhill. However, unfortunately, the wind picked up as I went along, and so I was a little slower on this section, averaging 7.02 per mile. However, overall it was a really decent long run and a really enjoyable way to spend the morning. So that's another 103 miles in the bank and another week of decent training. So far I'm really pleased with how things are going and my legs are feeling really good. Don't get me wrong, they are tired, but it's that good kind of tiredness you get from quality marathon training. I still have lots of work to do, but I'm starting to put in the kind of times in training that I was doing at this point before the Manchester Marathon. So I know if I keep putting the miles in, I should be in the right ballpark to run sub 2:45 at Berlin in September. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and subscribe to my channel so you can follow my journey towards Berlin. And if you have any questions about my training or anything you'd like me to talk about in future videos, please leave a comment below. Cheers.